object-oriented programming is the fact that the code is highly reusable. Supposing now that instead of this kind of rounded smileys, or apart from this kind of rounded smileys, want to be able to create this kind of square-like smileys. It's clear already that an attribute like the radius, which is one of the attributes of this smileys, is no longer an attribute for this square-like smileys. And also the way we shall calculate the total area of the smiley or of the square-like smiley is different from the way we shall calculate the total area of this circular shaped smileys. And clearly most of the attributes, as you could see here, this is smile, face color, eye color, are maintained. That's for the square smileys. And then it's only this radius which is not maintained because it's not needed when working with square smileys. Also for the methods, as we could see, it's only the head area here where there's going to be a modification. For this, there's no modification, there's no modification, there's no modification. So basically there's going to be a modification for this and this. Now what do? Do we recreate, like, say, let's insert this, let's copy this again and paste here. Do we have to come and say square smiley? So we will create square smiley, we take this off, and then here maybe we just say we have a no, so let's say side instead of radius. Now we have the side, and the side, let's maintain that 5. Here we have self.side equals side, and then for the area we have side times side. So take this off. There we go. Now it's possible to rewrite this class this way, but making use of the object-oriented programming paradigm, we could implement inheritance. Now inheritance in this case can be clearly seen as the square smiley has many properties that are included in the model class, that's the smiley itself, because this is some sort of subclass to this model class smiley. So what we could do is now make this square smiley inherit the useful properties from the smiley, and then we'll just do some slight modifications on the square smiley in order to reuse it. So let's come back to this. Suppose we have the square smiley. Let's run this for now. So yeah, we replace this with square smiley. We have that. Let's run it now. Clearly this is not correct because it doesn't have a radius, so we'll run again. That's it. Let's print, let's take this off, let's print this, let's print a smile, and that's fine. Let's also get the area. So let's say head happy dot head area, and then pass in. No, we don't need to pass in the side because that's been passed already in the constructor. So we'll run that. We have this. Let's get back to this. We have self.side square. So let's take this off. Okay, we'll run again. This is a method, so we have that. Run. There we go. So now we just have 2 square. Take 9 for example. We have 81. That's normal. Now let's take out most part of this code, since actually, as you could see clearly, most part of this is similar to what we had already written right here, and that's the power of object-oriented programming and inheritance. So as we could see, we could make this square smiley a subclass of this smiley class. By doing that, it suffices to just write here smiley, and that's all. So we have subclassed square smiley, and then we have this main class smiley, the subclass square smiley, which inherits from smiley. Once this is done, we could take this off. So take this off. Be careful not to take off the head area because we'll still need that. If we run this, everything is okay. We could check out this function which was defined previously, that's is I equals face. Print is I equal face. Run that. We told that this is not defined. We need to put this happy. Okay, so in this case we have, since we put in the default parameters, the face color is the same as the eye color, so that's correct. Now let's say after defining happy, or while defining happy, we define the face color to be equal, say red. Run that. You see now it's false. Now suppose we want to make use of the attributes from the superclass smiley. Given that we are inheriting from smiley, what we could do is we could take off this portion. Now this side is actually specific to this square smile class, so we can't take that off, since the super class has this and a radius by default. But then this 3 attributes are also the same for the square smiley, so that's why we could make use of this. And then to actually make use of these attributes, we use the super keyword. Now we have that, then we have init, and there we go. Now the way we use the super is such that we could actually replace this by the smiley itself. So we're just like saying we're calling on the constructor of the smiley, and if we call on the constructor of the smiley, it means we are taking into consideration actually all these attributes. So that said, we have this smiley init, and then in this we could pass in these different attributes. So here we have is smile, face color, and eye color. That's fine. We have the self on that, and you see that everything works. Okay, here we have the happy, that is smile, that's the is smile attribute, and it gives us a true, whereas we didn't explicitly define the is smile attribute here. Now if we take this off, let's put this back to super, we have this error. Now if we have to use the super instead of directly the square smiley, then we will have to put in the square smiley here, or rather if we have to use the super instead of the smiley as we just did, because what we just did was we had this smiley and that was fine. We had the is smile without any problem. Now if we have to use that super keyword, then we'll define it like this and then pass in the square smiley with self. We have this output, which is normal because the way we define this, we pass in the self here, which wasn't necessary because we are not passing in any object in this init right here. So that said, we remove that and then we're passing in this now. So let's run that, and there we go. We still have the same result we had as if we were having a smiley here. Note that if we take this off, you see nothing works. Let's maintain it, run again. It's important to note that apart from this kind of direct inheritance where we have, for example, the square smiley inheriting from the smiley, we could also have multi-level inheritance. So we could have a 3D square smiley. So suppose we have a 3D square smiley which inherits from the square smiley, and the square smiley in turn inherits from smiley. So we could have this 3D square smiley right here. Let's do that, and this inherits, as we've said, from the square smiley. Apart from this, we could also have, say, a hexagonal smiley. 1, 2, 3. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll define this hexagonal smiley which inherits directly from smiley. So here we could have this, that, and there we go. So we could have this kind of inheritance. We see here that we have smiley, this inherits from smiley, this from smiley, and then this inherits from square smiley. And obviously all this enforces code reusability and also code maintainability.